Season 2 of Call of Duty has just been revealed with a long blog post detailing a bunch of stuff coming to the game, and there's been a trailer showing off a bunch of stuff, and it's kind of a mixed bag, to be honest. There's some stuff in this that I'm super excited about that I'll go through in the video, but there's also some things I'm a little bit annoyed about, and I think some of you probably will be too. There's some things that are missing from this, and some things that are just a bit of a letdown. But anyway, let's start going through it. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think about this update. So let's get stuck in with multiplayer first of all. I've actually been playing quite a lot of multiplayer with Modern Warfare 3, probably more than I have done over the last couple of games. And really good news to start this off. We're getting 3 new 6v6 maps right at the beginning of the season. So beginning of season 2, 3 new multiplayer maps. That's awesome, because one of the things I didn't like about Modern Warfare 3 at launch was that it was just a bunch of old maps, just the Modern Warfare 2 maps. I know some people have a special place in their heart for them. For me, I played them a lot when that game came out. I wasn't really desperate to go back to all of them, and these 3 new maps look kind of interesting. They're more interesting than the ones we got in Season 1. So you've got Departures, first of all, which is another airport terminal, which is a little bit weird, but this is a bigger map. For some reason, the sort of design of this gives me kind of the vibes of Verdansk Airport, but I don't think it is meant to be that. But just kind of, it looks a bit like it, which is interesting. Then we're getting Stash House, which is a tiny map, so I guess it's them trying to do a new Shipment or Rust or Nuketown. You know, those maps tend to be very popular. Interesting, this is a 2v2 map that also works as a 6v6 map. Looks like something out of Rainbow Six Siege to me. But yep, that'll be interesting to see how that one plays. And then finally you've got Vista, which looks like the most boring out of the 3. It's a little bit more colourful, which I guess is nice. It's odd that it looks like a tropical island, and yet that top screenshot still looks so foggy and brown and grey. I'm kind of desperate for Treyarch's next game, where I'm sure they'll put some colour into the maps. But yep, so that's 3 maps. I'm excited about that. Coming mid-season, so I'm guessing in Season 2 Reloaded, which will be out in like March, so around March 7th, March 15th time, we're also getting a remake of Das Haus from Vanguard. That was a cool map. One thing I think is very funny about this, they've put it on top of a skyscraper now, but one thing I think is funny is in the description of it, they say something here like, hey, we're not going to have any kind of destructible cover anymore. There's a lack of destructible cover, so that's going to give us even quicker action. How exciting. I mean, it's like them saying, oh yeah, we can't do the destructible cover that we did in Vanguard, so we've just taken that out of this version of the map. I thought the destructible cover in Das Haus was actually pretty cool, so it's a bit of a shame that they've taken it out, but I guess it doesn't work in this version of the engine or whatever. Then there's a few other things that are going on. We've got new map variants I don't really care about, so sort of like zombified sort of versions of Terminal called Airborne, and then there's one of Skid Row called Skid Grow. I don't think that really works very well. That all looks a little bit like a screenshot from a Last of Us game. I was half wondering if they were going to do some crossover with Last of Us that they abandoned, but they were like, hey, we made this map, so why not use this? I don't think there's going to be any big differences from normal Skid Row. It's just got some plants on it now, so if that's your thing, all the best to you. There's also a new war map. Kind of interesting that they've done a new war map now, because war mode seems like something that I can't imagine anybody plays Modern Warfare 3 and it's like, yeah, war mode is my main thing. I love that, because there was only one map at launch, and kind of once you'd done it once, there wasn't much of a reason to keep going back to it. I think some people used it to XP grind or something, I'm not sure. But anyway, it kind of uses the skyscraper from Warzone, although it's got a slightly different base to the building. But yeah, it's using that. It looks like there's some cool like dynamic features in it. Something drops down the middle. There's something you need to escort. Looks kind of cool. I probably won't play that. I didn't really like war mode that much, but you know, good for people who have it. Then we've got a few new game modes. Again, nothing terribly exciting. There's a team-based gun game that sounds super complicated, where it's not like you get a kill and then you go on to the next gun. Instead, your team needs to get a certain number of kills and then it progresses you. Sounds a little bit complicated to me, but anyway, that's happening. Snipers only, really good for people who want to practice those kind of quick scopes and things like that, so that's cool. Horde point, which is something that was in Call of Duty World War II, I think, where it's like hard point, but once you're on the hard point, a bunch of zombies spawn. If that's in custom games, I think that'll be a lot of fun, but it'll be interesting to see how long that lasts and whether it makes it into custom games. And then I think we also got Juggermosh. This is something that I think sounds like a cool idea if you were talking about it, multiplayer, but everyone's in a juggernaut suit all the time. But in practice, I think it'll be annoying because people will have an absolute ton of health. Apparently there's no fall damage. That'll be interesting. People like dive bombing into each other and stuff. But you'll be kind of slow. You won't have all of that movement that people like about this year's Call of Duty. Yeah, I'm not sure how much fun that mode's really going to be for me. There's also Bounty, just where, it's like Team Deathmatch, but the player who has the most points on your team is an MVP, and then that's extra points if someone kills them. And then you get a new Vortex playlist. So I think that's the game mode where you get the ray gun, isn't it? Whereas you can kill the person with the ray gun to get it yourself, and that's going to be on those special maps. Then there's also stuff for multiplayer ranked Season 2. I haven't even stepped into ranked at all in Season 1, so I'm not that excited. There's also a new vest, the Ninja Vest, which gives you the silent footsteps that you'd normally get from covert sneakers, but then also lets you recharge and carry more throwing knives and shuriken. So again, cool if you like that kind of thing. Just nothing really that's going to make me suddenly want to play more multiplayer. Other than maybe that Horde point, that looks fun. But let's get on to Modern Warfare Zombies, and this is where some of you are going to get angry, because there's no new content coming next Wednesday for Modern Warfare Zombies. Even though this is an undead-themed season, the Battle Pass is all undead-themed, all of their advertising has been, about zombies and stuff like that. Modern Warfare Zombies, MWZ, is getting nothing at the beginning of the season. That, I find that absolutely crazy. That blows my mind. I even thought from their trailer, oh, hey, the zombies on Fortune's Keep. More about that later, by the way. And somebody from Activision reached out to me and were like, yeah, that's not MWZ. Like, don't say that. Well, they didn't say don't say that, but I think that was the implication. Like, they saw my tweet and were like, yeah, that's not MWZ. It just seems crazy to me. I did that video a couple of weeks ago about how I thought MWZ was maybe cancelled because Treyarch had said it's been a blast and it wasn't involved in the boys events at all, and there wasn't really much in Season 1 for it. And lots of people said, no, wait, Season 2, that's where you're going to get loads of stuff. And Infinity Ward developer was tweeting about how excited they were for Modern Warfare Zombies stuff in Season 2. And now it's been revealed what we're getting, and it's like, oh no, I'm kind of going back to thinking that this is cancelled, that we're not going to see much more MWZ, because we're just getting so little content for it. Surely there's not going to be that many people still playing it. But anyway, let's go through what we are getting. And none of this is coming at the beginning of the season. All of it's mid-season. So I assume that means it's going to be coming in like March 7th, March 15th. So you're going to be waiting another month for any zombies content, I'm afraid. So the Dark Aether story act continues. Apparently there's one new mission. So in this entire season, in the next 2 months, you're getting one new mission for zombies. No new act with a bunch of smaller missions or anything like that. Remember in DMZ when we'd get a whole new set of missions with like 4 factions full of missions? Nope, you're getting one mission. So enjoy that. Look forward to that. We're also getting the second rift, which sounds like it's going to be some kind of maze or something. There's a screenshot that makes it look like it's at the airport in Al Mazrah. Not sure if that's what's happening, because then there's a sort of a carousel there or something, a little bit strange. But it sounds like it's going to be some sort of maze type thing where it says earn coveted rewards, follow cryptic clues and complete timed tasks, all while facing the largest infested stronghold yet seen. I don't know who's excited about a large infested stronghold, because those kind of suck doing them. They're just annoying trying to search for those cysts and stuff. Searching around a really huge one doesn't sound fun to me at all, to be honest. But yeah, that's what we're getting. The idea of getting coveted rewards and following clues sound cool, but I kind of get the impression it'll actually just be like the first Dark Rift, where you go in there and then, you had to go find the rabbits to start the contracts, to start the missions. I'm kind of expecting it to just be something like that again, but in a different location. But we'll see. Maybe it'll be cool. Maybe it'll be more involved than I thought. And then they said we're getting new schematics. So I was like, oh, that's cool. There'll be new schematics to hunt for. But then the schematics are these. We're getting a schematic for the Vril, the VR11 Wonder Weapon, which is a Wonder Weapon if you've tried it. It's not really worth using. Like, you can turn zombies into mercenaries or mercenaries into zombies. It's super slow firing, doesn't have a lot of ammunition. It's just not as useful as just killing those things yourself. But you'll be able to get a schematic to make more of them. There's the mags of holding, which is kind of interesting, and I think will be interesting for some weapons. Basically, it means you will take your ammo from your reserves rather than your magazine, so you never need to reload your gun. Imagine using that with like a rocket launcher or a crossbow. That could be super cool. It'll be interesting to see how that changes like the best weapons to use in zombies. Then there's a blood burner key that will spawn one of those bikes. The bikes are kind of cool. You can drive on the water with them and run over enemies with them. It'll be interesting to see if maybe you can get lots of them in your squad. Like if everyone has a blood burner key, can you make like a zombies motorcycle gang? That could be cool. But yeah, I'm kind of not holding my breath. I feel like you'll summon one and then it'll be like, this map has reached its limit of blood burner bikes or something like that. But anyway, all of that stuff is coming mid-season. All of that stuff is coming in March. And I was joking on Twitter the other day saying, oh, I bet what we'll get in Season 2 is a new Warlord that will have a turret. And we're getting a new Warlord that's got turrets. So this is in Kill House, all of Military Base. There'll be a new Warlord, carries no new rewards or anything. Just you'll go into Kill House and there'll be soldiers, snipers, turrets, traps and poison gas grenades. And you'll fight them. And they'll drop some rubbish just like Dockerby did. Just not an exciting update. And that's it. That's it for Season 2. So for the next 2 months of content, that's all you're getting. So I'm not sure what that Infinity Ward developer was talking about when they were saying they're excited. Maybe the story mission's going to be really good. Maybe the second rift is a lot more interesting than I'm giving it credit for. But it just doesn't sound like there's enough to bring people back to the mode. I can't imagine there's going to be content creators being like, oh yeah, a bunch more stuff to make videos about in MWZ. It's just, there's just not enough. I just really don't think there's enough. I just think I'm kind of done with this mode for now. I'll probably hop in to try the new story mission, try the second rift, and then not play it again for 2 months, which is a real shame. And like I said, and that's not coming till March anyway, so you can't play it for now. But let's get on to something happier. Warzone. Warzone is actually getting some pretty cool stuff. So the big thing that Warzone's getting is Fortune's Keep. Fortune's Keep's coming back, and while I was a little bit at the beginning of the year like, oh, it's kind of sad that the thing that I'm most excited about for Warzone is just a map that we already had in Warzone that they took away kind of arbitrarily when they swapped to Warzone 2, and now we're getting it back. But at least they are doing kind of a different version of it. High Moon Studios are working on it. Fortune's Keep was probably my favorite map from the original Warzone. I'm really excited about this coming back. High Moon Studios love their Easter eggs, so I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of secrets in this. I think it's going to be really cool. There's also zombies wonder weapons in it that's kind of funny, because all the time when I've been saying, hey, MWZ could be improved by adding PvP, lots of people argue back saying, well, how would they ever balance the wonder weapons? They'd never do that. And now they're just bringing the wonder weapons into Warzone. So yeah, like we'll see how they've managed to balance them. That'll be interesting. But anyway, there's a big overview in the blog post and there's a attack map and stuff showing you all of the stuff in Fortune's Keep. It looks nice. It looks like the POIs are kind of in the same place, but you've just got sort of expanded areas. So behind Keep, there's a bit of an expanded bit where you can drop down there and kind of move around a bit easier. The grotto's been replaced with Ground Zero, where apparently there's a big underground lab there, so that sounds like that'll be fun to explore. And then there's a bunch of damage, like there's been a big kind of earthquake type thing going across it. It sounds like it's just going to be kind of the stuff that we're used to, and then some extra cool new stuff. There's already, we've already been looking for Easter eggs, and someone on my Discord was like, hey, it looks like maybe that's a little bit raised, like you could step on it and do something. I'm sure because it's High Moon, there'll be a bunch of cool stuff. And that's what I'll be doing on Wednesday when this all goes live. We'll be dropping into Resurgence immediately to try and find all of these Easter eggs, to try and find all of the secrets. But there's a bunch of information on this blog just kind of going through it. It all looks kind of similar, kind of familiar. There's a few new cool kind of interactive things. So in the wine cellar, there's going to be, it's flooded and you can kind of drain it and then you can press another valve thing to fill it up again. So that could be cool, sort of flooding the basement of it. Could be kind of interesting. Not sure how people will use it, whether it floods the tunnels that go into the wine cellar so you could actually kind of trap people down there. That could be kind of cool. And there's also a bunch of bridges around the map which you can shoot a button to make them go up and down. That looks kind of cool, like that's exciting. Ground Zero is the area that's got this laboratory underneath it, and it says that the laboratory's got it's a very large laboratory with a snaking network of corridors, chambers, and tunnels. And they haven't shown off much of that, so I'm looking forward to exploring that and kind of seeing what's in there. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. There's also zombie nests. So this is where it gets a little bit weird. We saw this footage in the trailer, and this is what made a bunch of us think, oh, MWZ is coming to Fortune's Keep. That's awesome. But instead, what's going to happen is in Battle Royale, in Resurgence, there's going to be a zombies nest contract where it will take you to a zombies nest where you have to shoot the cysts on the wall, like MWZ. Zombies will attack you, and then there'll be a high-value target, like a mimic or something, maybe a disciple, will attack you. If you kill that, you'll get some kind of reward. Okay, I'm not sure how interesting that'll be in Warzone. Blackout actually did something very similar to this, where you could go to certain areas in a Blackout map and there would be zombies about, and if you killed a bunch of them, it would open up a mystery box and give you some cool loot. So, you know, we're kind of going back to that, which is never a bad thing. Blackout had a lot of cool ideas, but it doesn't feel particularly new or exciting, maybe. I think some people are going to get really annoyed about it as well. You know, if you're in a fight and then suddenly there's a bunch of zombies about, that could annoy them. There's also this new public event, which sounds quite cool, called Rogue Signal. This is something that I remember seeing in GTA Online, where every now and then there's going to be a 90-second objective-based mission, like who can get the most kills, who can do the most damage, who can open the most boxes, and then the top 3 teams to do well in it will get some cash, and they'll get told where a reward crate is, and then after 30 seconds that reward crate will open, and obviously 3 teams would have gone there to sort of fight over it, so that's kind of a cool way of getting some of the better teams together, and then they could get some cool stuff. It says 2 redacted things and a wonder weapon from MWZ. In the screenshots and the trailer, we've seen the ray gun and the Wonder Waff, the electric version of it, so it looks like there might be a bunch of the different wonder weapons dotted about. So that's kind of interesting. That'll be a kind of fun thing to do, a little bit of variation. There's also zombies power-ups. I think these will annoy a lot of people because these are super strong. So power-ups might spawn sometimes and you get things like double points, full armor, max ammo, fire sale, looting spree, which adds extra stuff to caches. That could be good to get at the beginning. Zarkor, which is the one I'm most worried about. 60 seconds of you having 25% increased movement speed, infinite tactical sprint, and reloading while sprinting, and no fall damage. That's 60 seconds where you're going to be incredibly powerful, and really good aggressive players who manage to get this, they'll just be flying around the map. That's going to be kind of crazy. And then there's also Undead Sight, which is 45 seconds where enemies will be highlighted in red and friendlies will be highlighted in blue. I don't think it'll let you see through walls. It sounds a bit like what that MSI monitor did. I think Jack Frags did a video about it where it uses AI to kind of highlight enemies. It sounds like that, but this is just a power-up in game. So yeah, I think some of these things might feel a little bit overpowered, but we'll see. And it does say that they probably will change the durations and things as it goes on. All of that stuff, by the way, isn't going to be in Fortune's Keep forever. It's just kind of this season. They're doing the zombie stuff and the power-ups and everything like that. So they won't be around forever, don't worry. So there's a picture of that extendable bridge that I was talking about. There's also some new stuff. Fortune favors the bold. There's going to be this cool new system, by the sounds of it, for Easter eggs that are going to be something to do with the wonder weapons. So it says there that latest intel confirms wonder weapons with limited ammunition support and no restock options can be acquired under certain circumstances. Then there's a bunch of redacted stuff. It sounds to me like Fortune's Keep is going to have a bunch of small Easter eggs where you get wonder weapons. The original Fortune's Keep had loads of Easter eggs, like the secret room in the keep that you could unlock by grabbing all of the wine bottles and things. You also had the graveyard where you could dig up a zombie. You had the shovels where you could dig up treasure on the beach. You had the fountain where you could throw money into it and it'd throw something out. Bunch of like little Easter eggs. They were all super fun, but the rewards weren't very good. It sounds like there will be things, I assume, on that level that will give you wonder weapons. So maybe a reliable way to get a ray gun, but by the sounds of it, you won't be able to refill the ammo for it or anything like that. So hopefully it won't be too overpowered. We'll see how it goes. Like some things like the Wonder Waff, I could imagine being super overpowered if they like stun enemies, if it works like a shock stick. But we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to go and look for all of that stuff. On this screenshot of Michonne there, you can see the ray gun over on the right. So that is, you know, a thing that's happening. There's also this new tracker. I think this is a cool idea. When you wipe a squad in Resurgence, it will start a timer of 90 seconds. If you can wipe another squad in that 90 seconds, you'll start a squad wipe streak. A white flare will go up, letting other people know that that's what you're doing, that you're wiping out loads of teams, you're doing really well. So it will probably bring more teams to you, a little bit more action. I think it'll be good to sort of challenge some of the really dominant teams, make it a bit harder for them because they'll be sending flares up if they're doing really well. But then also kind of give those dominant teams something more fun to do. Like they'll be trying to get the highest streak possible. It's kind of like a new kind of content idea. I think that's cool. And the the sort of team that does the best in a game will get things like calling card and emblem rewards. So I think that's a fun new thing to chase. I love stuff like that in the game, just like a new kind of aim or goal within the match. I think that's really, really cool. They've made it sound really complicated there, but that's basically just what I said. And then there's some other stuff coming mid-season. So there's a new boat that's going to be off the coast. There's a new kill streak called the Bunker Buster, which will like create a column of gas that goes through walls. So maybe if you know a team's in a building And, normally airstrikes wouldn't hurt them and bomb drones can't go through doors and things like that. This will actually create a column of gas, forcing them out. Unless they have a portable decontamination station, which they're saying the PDS is finally coming back for sure. And that will obviously save you from the gas for a bit. Really interesting thing with the PDS is that they've said if you put it close to a buy station, it will reactivate it. Now that to me sounds a little bit worrying, because what would stop a team from having a PDS, using a redeploy drone right near the final circle, flying to a buy station that's right on the other side of the map or something, throwing down a PDS to survive the gas, reactivate a buy station so they can then buy more gas masks, maybe another PDS if you can buy them, buying their teammates back. I feel like when this is in the game, and this isn't going to be next week, so this will be sometime in March, when they put this into the game, there's going to be a bunch of Fortune's Keep games ending without a fight in the final circle. There'll just be teams spread out across the map using PDSs and buy stations. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's like, to me, that seemed like the obvious way to use that was to kind of cheese a win at the end of the game. But we'll see. Anyway, the last big thing, and the thing that I'm really excited about, is ranked resurgence. So Warzone ranked is coming back, but instead of being Battle Royale, it's going to be resurgence for now. They have said Battle Royale ranked will come, in a few months, like in a future season. But we are getting this now. It's trios still. The only big difference really is obviously it's on Fortune's Keep. It's trios. It's still trios. I guess that's not a change. And they've made it so now the extra bonus points you get by killing enemies in the game, you can actually lose them by dying in the game, because obviously in Resurgence you might end up dying quite a lot. So you kind of get rewarded for trying to stay alive. Now they go, in the blog post, they go into quite a lot of information about the rewards. You can see the sort of different reward things there. The gold one looks very cool, but you have to be one of the top 250 players to get that. So I'm never going to get that. But I'd love to try and get into Crimson. If I can get into Crimson this season, I'll be super happy. That would be my kind of goal for Season 2, I think, to try and sneak my way into Crimson. Let me know in the comments whether you think I'll manage to get there or not. So there's a ton of information in the blog about how all of that works. There's some of the rewards that you get. I don't really think much of the emblem and the calling cards, but the skins are cool, like I said. And then after that, there's a few other things. There's also some new weapons coming in. The weapons that they've brought into Modern Warfare 3 are so boring. Like, this is an assault rifle called BP-50, and they're like, hey, it's good at medium to long range, it's super accurate, fast rate of fire, but high capacity, like, great. Another gun that just does everything very, very well. And then there's a submachine gun, the Ram 9, and it's got the highest capacity of any SMG, low recoil, fast firing, high mobility. So, okay, so that's, the new meta SMG, brilliant. And then there's a battle rifle. I don't know why anyone would care about a battle rifle when you've got assault rifles and SMGs that do what they do. And then you've got this sword, which is kind of interesting. You can go into a guard stance by like holding both triggers down. And then when you let go, that's when you attack. So, you could be like waiting around a corner of someone, then attack instantly as soon as you see them. They call it a guard stance. They haven't said whether you'll be able to block or anything with it, but that sounds kind of cool to me. And then there's this. There's a bunch of aftermarket parts, like 7, but I don't care about the other 6. But this is a tiny little chainsaw you can put on the end of your gun. It seems so wildly impractical, like it would get caught on clothes and things. You're putting it on the end of a gun where I'd assume, you've already got something quite dangerous at the end of the gun, like the barrel. Like, surely that's dangerous enough without needing to put a tiny little chainsaw in the end. But anyway, they're putting it on. I'm sure it'll be a funny thing to troll people with. I'm looking forward to giving it a try. That's an aftermarket part that you need to kind of put... you need to complete some challenges to do or something like that. All of the other things, I just don't care about those. Other aftermarket parts don't matter. And then there's all of the skins and stuff you can buy. So there's like gold and black zombie versions of Task Force 141 if you're into that, and a skeleton guy. Rick from The Walking Dead is going to be in a battle pass, which is pretty cool that they're not selling him as a separate operator. He is in a battle pass like Spawn was for Season 6. That was very cool. So, and because it's actually an operator, there'll be voice lines and stuff, which I think is cool. Laswell is an operator. Fair enough. I don't know. Sure somebody cares about that. John Doe is a Black Cell one, so if you want to spend all of the money on Black Cell, you can get that kind of cool looking skeleton thing that I'm sure lots of people won't use because he glows bright purple. And then in the store, there's going to be a bunch of stuff. There's Michonne from The Walking Dead, which is cool. A Black History Month pack. A CDL chef pack. Fair enough. I mean, didn't they just fire like most of the staff who work on CDL? So... a little bit weird to put that out, but oh well. And then some of the upcoming bundles are cool, like that skeleton with all the flowery, fungusy type stuff. I think that looks quite cool. And this on the left looks like a cross between something out of Alien and something out of Warframe. That looks pretty cool. The ether worm thing on the right looks cool. This like dragon type thing, lion thing in the middle. I think all of those look pretty cool, like pretty cool bundles. So if you want to buy stuff, they've got you covered. But anyway, that's basically it for Season 2. So if you're into zombies, MWZ is getting nothing. That kind of sucks. But there's some zombie stuff coming to Warzone, weirdly. If you're into multiplayer, bunch of new maps, that's exciting. And if you're into Warzone and Resurgence, then you're getting a new map, Fortune's Keep, new version of map. There's going to be a bunch of Easter eggs that I'll be searching for as soon as this goes live. And you're getting ranked Resurgence. So that's pretty cool. There's quite a lot of exciting new stuff in this. It just really sucks if you're a fan of MWZ. So let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. Tune into my stream on Wednesday when I'll be streaming all of this live. And I'll see you then. Goodbye.